Let's cross now to our correspondent in Jerusalem, Irris Makler. So Irris, what is the latest on these raids and the possibility of a ground invasion?
What we've heard from the Israeli Defense Force spokesperson is that the raids were carried out, a targeted raid, as they call it, overnight. Infantry, tanks, air cover in the form of drones, and also combat helicopters. They say they're going in to clear out debris. They went as far as Gaza City this time, so further than the previous targeted raids that they have carried out, up to the Shaja'iyah section of Gaza City, still not very far from the border, but nevertheless further. And I guess the question is, what is the aim of this? They say they're very worried about anti-tank weapons, and that's partly because I think 4 days ago now, on one of these previous targeted raids, an anti-tank missile did hit a tank, killing one Israeli soldier, wounding 3. So they are concerned about that. They're clearing out those launching positions. But the real question here is this preparation for a larger ground offensive, as Israel has been talking about, and it's since, 21 days ago, basically, since the attack on October the 7th, and was reconfirmed last night by Israel's defense minister. So is that what we're looking at? Or is it going to be something smaller? Because the question of the hostages, now numbering, it's believed, 229, that was the latest figure confirmed by the Israeli Defense Force spokesperson, is that going to have to come first, and is that going to delay a large-scale ground offensive?
Irris, what more can you tell us about these hostages, these 229 people?
I can tell you that they are becoming the main objective from the point of view of the Israeli people, if not the Israeli leadership yet. But I have heard both the defense minister and Israel's prime minister adding to the list of war aims the return of the hostages. I've just seen right now, actually today, a poll which suggests that Israelis are willing to put a stop or a halt on a ground offensive. They didn't ask the follow-up question of why, but I think it's because what's being explained in the media here a lot is that if you want any of those hostages back, the negotiations have to be given a chance. It's understood that they're being held mostly by Qatar, a patron and indeed a funder of Hamas. Egypt is there in those negotiations as well. And what they're looking at is something large scale, not 2 women one night and 2 women another, but a large scale release of women, children, the aged who've been taken there, the wounded, and then that would be worth, I suppose, I'm putting worth in inverted commas, but from an Israeli point of view, holding up a ground offensive for. Because I think the thinking here is, if that doesn't go ahead, then you may never see any of those hostages again. That's a very harsh thing to have to say to the Israeli public. But I think what they are saying off the record is that this process will not go on forever. These talks being held at the moment, off screen. You and I aren't there. We can't report what's being said. But those talks won't be given weeks and weeks. It's more like days than weeks.